everyone, welcome back to the Addams Family Mystery Mansion. This is part 4 to our beta look into. And, yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a filler episode, unfortunately. No new characters. We will be looking more into Fester and unlocking a new area, but unfortunately, the animation for said area is not gonna be really implemented as of yet. But I will hopefully show this off, the actual animation for it, once the game fully is inside. But regardless, let's just go ahead and just dive right into the whole game. And let's just kind of get through this as quick as possible. So let's dive right into the mansion, shall we? So we last left off, we were just kind of unlocking the electricity station, which will be useful when it comes to next, but our main focus is this, the workshop. If you recall, Fester's workshop here, what it is basically is that you trade in these items here in order to get an opportunity to get one of 3 items, which I think I mentioned last time before. Now, what's interesting is that normally this is the only way to do this, but there is another way, only if there's no events running. I may talk about that once it pops in, but namely there's a little weird feature that kind of comes across every so often. But anyways, yeah, if you've played their other games, and this feature might be familiar to you, that these 3 rare items that can only be obtained through one certain mechanic, and they need to be used in order to unlock new areas. So the dining room area, or the family room, as whatever they like to refer to it as, needs this kind of feature in order to kind of play through, to actually unlock and progress through this game. Namely, this whole update is just going to kind of look at some of the when it comes to this particular part for level 5. Once we get into level 6, which will come near the end of the episode, is when we kind of get a tease to go see the new character, which is going to be that of Grandmama. And I'll talk more about her in a bit. So we need screws in order to open up the living room area. So hopefully, because this is a test of sorts, we should hopefully get that as our first try. That's the hope. I think we do. So there's that, and that is luck for that part there. So as of now, this is more of a filler stuff for episodes. Yeah, so about this game. A lot of things have changed since the years have passed that will be interesting to show off. And a lot of new features gets added into it. And a lot of the game gets more fleshed out because a lot more people are investing into this game. I'm surprised that that's the case, because the movie itself that this is based off of did okay. But even then, that movie is getting, that film's getting a sequel. So, that's, that was a surprise to me and everyone else. But, hey, most likely that will be an update event based for the film. But it'll be interesting to see what exactly the trailer for that is going to be about, and what will it entail as far as content goes. But yeah, we're just going to have this go on here. This is going to be a bit of an interesting episode for me, because like I said, this is going to be filler, so now a lot of interesting stuff is going to pop in besides just usual filling of the family diner and things of that nature to try to progress within the story. Fortunately for you, these videos are kind of short, within a 30-minute length, so it's not going to be drawn out and elongated. I'm just simply kind of passing the time with getting certain items, just so until we get this done. So a few more minutes and seconds to go before we will be done with that. Alright, so quite curious about this, though. It's a bit weird, particular with this game, because I remember when it first started that there was actually a little sidebar, like when this is only for content creators, but when you upload a video, especially when it's a certain category, games particular, since I'm kind of focusing on that, there is a a feature down below where you can simply tell the YouTube, oh, this is based on this game, so that when somebody's searching for that game, it will come into that category, right? So it makes sense, right? But for some reason, this game, it had that at one point, kind of like what Goosebumps did, but for some reason, this game no longer has it. And I'm wondering if it's because, for some reason, people just didn't upload or stuff with this game. I mean, they kind of did when it first popped in, but it kind of fell off when it came to content creations. And, you know, like for me, I've kind of hold off for this whole series, partially because the game I more like prefer is kind of that's what you call it, just in temporary hiatus at the moment. It's not dead, but it's not alive either. So we got to do something to kind of pass the time. So again, I'm getting myself some hammers, some screws, and I think a crowbar. So those are the 3 items in particular that opens up the mansion. So I have the materials opening. I just need the cash, the atom coins, as it were. So I'm just gonna fill myself up as much of that as possible, because I know that I'm gonna need a whole lot of them. And once you level up into the game, what will end up happening is that the areas, the items needed will get a lot more complicated and a lot more harder. So there's that. Apologies, I'm getting beeped a bunch of times. I'm also trying to get myself organized because I'm doing this new setup now as far as making videos go, because I've recently changed my layout as far as work goes. Instead of me being working during the consequential shift times, now it's going to be more or less normal working hours as far as things go. If that makes sense, as things go. I mean, like, I'm more of the 8-hour shift now, so it's normal-ish. So, yeah, this is the daily bonus. So every 24 hours you come in, you should get something like that. Basically, like any other login bonus. At a certain point, you just get more cash and money. And, yeah, it is interesting, but hopefully we'll soon get enough cash to unlock this and complete the quest. So you'll see what I meant when this whole game is basically, or this whole update as of now, it's just going to be more or less filler. I will not be surprised if this episode doesn't do so well when it comes to the actual, like, compared to anything else. I don't blame people, because there's not a whole lot of interesting features to talk about, because, you know, we're not going to get another character until the next update, next video. And then hopefully we'll be soon done with the beta, so then we can talk about more fun stuff, namely the holiday updates. And yeah, when certain features come in, oh boy, is that going to be quite interesting. But yeah, I'm just showing off. So when you upgrade to Cleopatra, she gives you some more items and content, but there's that. Anyways, we're finally done with this. I got the money, so now let's go ahead and continue on with the quest.
Well, my screw has sorted that problem, hasn't it?
I have to admit that it was better than my crossbow for the task, Uncle Fester.
If you get stuck again, come ask me. I have all sorts of tools to help open the mansion.
I'll say I like how I did my Uncle Fester, in my opinion.
There's no steak in the living room, but there's a mysterious table here. What you think is under the blanket?
It could be dangerous. Go on, Pugsley, take a look.
The mysterious table. Uncover the table, place some items down in the window. Yeah, so this is interesting with the cover the Ouija table. Now, the Ouija table doesn't, it's not going to look, oh yeah, and there's Kitty, Kooky. Nice pop in there, Kitty. Kitty will have his most significance later on. Not really dialogue-wise, but actually more character. But that's in the future. That's not the now. This is 2019, baby. Right. So, this, a bunch of stuff. Let's go ahead and have these characters do that. Right. It's interesting how the character profile when it comes to these, like, oh, the mysterious table, they actually have Fester's weird character profile up there instead. So Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? The Addams are kooky, so, you know. That could be dangerous. Go on, kids, go jump in the pit. You know, and then here's Gomez's new animation, which is doing the fire pit here. I love how Morticia just stops right there, just kind of judging her husband. Like, look at this. He's not even starting the fire. What is this? Oh, she's very disappointed. She's walking away now. Okay, bye Morticia, nice knowing you. Gomez is going to be bothering with this for a bit. Sadly. Right, so there was a thought I had before that whole interruption with the dialogue there. Oh, right, now I remember. I'm actually kind of, before I don't know, I'm saying a bunch of stuff. It's interesting how they kind of set this up here with the lights, like to have it be next to the wall. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but the hitboxes for some of these layouts are somewhat odd because I can't place things closely and then things get shifted around a bunch of times. You'll probably see that during the playthrough. I'm not sure why that's the case, but yeah, it's very bizarre and weird. Like, I get what they're trying to do with this stuff here, but whatever. Yeah, so we got that unlocked, so that's the Ouija board. Unfortunately, the animation for it will not be unlocked just yet. It will probably be finalized once the game comes out. Also, it's weird, down below, that weird item there, yeah, that doesn't become the item after this event opens up, or, you know, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Right, some of the voice acting I have for some of these characters are what I feel like they fit well. However, when it comes to Grandmama near the end of the video, I'm going to try to figure out what would be best for her as far as her voice, because, you know, old lady, it's just kind of like, kind of weird. I might have an idea. This episode is going to be more of a, let's figure it out kind of deal, but hopefully by part 5, Grandmama will have a proper voice, but everyone else I feel like I'm satisfied with. But let's go ahead and put these lights down, and let's continue on with the story.
It doesn't look dangerous. It's some kind of gaming table. Brilliant! We should all play a game of bridge together.
Really, Gomez? That's the game we're going for? Not Operation or...
Let's get the Ouija board out, shall we?
Yes, let's hear what the dark spirits have to say.
I hear them speak to me. They say there should be fire.
Lurch, can you put out those flames? We can't hear the spirits over the crackling fire.
Oh, this is the first time we're going to see Lurch in the game. Yes, there's Big Boy. I can't wait to have him. Family game night. Start the scene with the Ouija board. Man, I can't wait when we get Lurch, because his dialogue is going to be great with him going, you know, like making humming noises. Yeah, so the dialogue there will make sense once the animation comes into the game, but for now, unfortunately, what ends up happening is that once I play, you'll see this, when I play this scene, it's literally their kitchen table scene. I don't know why. That event will need, once the game finally comes out, it will need Lurch, Wednesday, Morticia, and Gomez, and then it's a lot more better with the animation. And I think when it came to when it came to Wednesday, she just keeps on lighting up the, I love this, Fester's just lighting up nothing, because the animation's not loading in properly. Again, this is like real beta before global launch, so, you know, it's not like that now, but, yeah, so let me show you this. So when we start this off, yeah, look at this. What is this? They're just eating food, which is weird. Well, except for, yeah, the weird animation doesn't work very well, especially Pugsley. He's just bloating invisible dynamites. Yeah, so the scene's broken on this one, but hopefully once the game fully unlocks, we will be able to show off this. Oh yeah, and then there's this weird glitch that happens at some point. For some reason, you have to click on the actual event to be like, oh yeah, let's have it work. And I'm not gonna get over the fact that it has weird gambling noise every time you open the loot box. I'm happy they finally changed that, because really that noise they put as a template holder did not help matters at all once they introduced this mechanic. But yeah, there we go. Push down the slot machine, kids. Yeah, sometimes you have to laugh at some times of the dumb. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't work because I click on it, so now I'm going to skip it, and it should hopefully work now. So, yeah, let's press OK and continue.
Only a little fire to put out. We need to up our game when it comes to family night.
We're getting too tame. I remember when they had to call out the National Guards.
Did you literally put your last mansion on fire? Oh, my God.
The house looks so much nicer now, Morticia. It's almost as cozy as the Russian prison where I spent my holidays long ago.
Perhaps with a few more warm touches, it could be the envy of the Siberians.
The step further, or as I like to call it, steppy further, and just place some more items down. That's funny that they mentioned the Russian prison, because I believe this is a nod to the actual Addams Family movie. Because at some point, Uncle Fester was being played by Christopher Lloyd, the person who played as Doc Brown in the Back to the Future fame, as well as Judge Doom from Who Framed Robert Ratchet. But that's just some interesting facts. Yeah, so that actor has been well known in the histories. What's interesting about it, though, in that film, they mentioned how one of the what do you call it? He went. One of his vacations was actually in a Russian prison. Yeah, they're like, oh look, this is a straitjacket you had there, and it's quite interesting. They make a nod to that, and some of the costumes too, by the way, is also a nod to that stuff there. So again, what's interesting about this game is that although yes, this is based off of the movie with its look and everything, there's actually a lot of nods when it comes to the actual original airing of the show, plus when it comes to, in particular, some of the movies and stuff, because there are certain costumes and whatnot have appeared in some of the episodes, and other features of that nature. Great, my phone fell down. As Fester sleeps on a nice bed of nails, because, of course. I mean, to be fair, that guy has like a big warm jacket, so he should be fine with the prickling of the needles. Again, these beds, man, like, you gotta torture. I love how they make this whole thing look kooky as far as these items go, as far as the whole Addams. It's weird because the Addams kind of blew off once the show came in, and then from there, that's when the movies added more lore. So, it'll be interesting, and this is animation to do that, to polish his and bang his bomb. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what they add to this new movie coming out. But once we're done this, we should be the Spanish.
A missile? Pugs, that's not even contemporaneous with the 15th century. Wednesday, are you poking your brother with that sword? I thought I taught you to slash with that blade. It's more effective than stabbing.
Questline. Spanish questline. That's what I was trying to say before the game interrupted me. But yeah, now we got this one going, as well as the one for Morticia that will be coming up in a minute. It's just basically talking more about the plants, and now we have enough items. Again, like off cameras, just grinding for coins so that way I can put these items down. A lot of these quests are basically just, hey, fill your mansion up with some weird stuff. And at first this is kind of cool, but eventually, and especially when you see through this game series, I mentioned this a bunch of times, but eventually the mansion becomes a hoarder house, just with a bunch of junk outside, a bunch of stuff in the house that makes no sense. It's just like, it's a complete mess, but for the Addams, it's a lovely mess for them. They love it. And once we got this thing down, this is one of the other animations with Uncle Fester, which is him using a gun. What's weird is for some reason the gun is very blurry. I don't know what's going on here. Again, beta, but still, it's, yeah, nice, blurry gun he's holding. Ignore the fact that it's supposed to be the gun on the rack, but, okay, yeah, that's something. Alright, so we got some more items now. We're gonna put this portrait up of a certain character that was from the movie, which I believe is Grandmama's sister, and as well as other weird family members, but, yeah. Ended up filling up this, so hooray, got the cookie meter fully up. Aren't I special? Alright, so we got some of this stuff going here. We still got some more items down. And are you bored yet? I know. I don't blame you. Again, filler episode, my bad. But what can you expect when it comes to this particular episode? Sometimes episodes are a bit filler and it's a bit boring, so sorry about that. But that's the name of the game sometimes, when it comes to some of this stuff anyways. But yeah, we got this stuff going on here. We finally got some more coins to put more items as required. Like, for example, this Iron Maiden, which is a nice style, very classic. When we put this down, we should be done with the quest.
Great choices, Fester. Your taste is exquisitely awful.
Thank you. It feels nice to be appreciated.
Again, I would like to state, I really do like how I did my Fester.
Playing with the children has really sapped my energy. I need a recharge. How many volts will it do this time? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Nuts and bolts. Get the and have them do that, and yeah. So it's funny because one of the items he gets once he gets to a certain costume is an actual one of those charge volts that you can get from here. The fuses. Yeah. So we got that going on. You can tell with my Fester, I've been trying to sound like the one in the movie. I think the one in the movie did a better job, honestly, with the look and everything. Though, to be fair, a lot of the actors who played as certain characters did a really good job. Apparently, from what I hear, there's also plans to make an Addams Family TV show for Netflix, so if that's true, then, wow, okay, so we got a bunch of Addams now, so, more content to come, I guess.
Morticia, my dear, did you see the bright lights flickering behind that door?
No, sorry. I was busy with the tentacles across the hall.
Oh, is this Socrates? Or is that Aristotle? One of the other octopus that I think Pugsley owns. Actually, now that I think about it, why are they named after Greek philosophers? Now, I know Socrates was in the film, but we'll maybe see him in the future.
Oh no! While watching the children's play, I forgot to feed my dear Cleopatra. Ah, a pity. Thorns need a lot of water to grow strong and sharp.
Deadly ladies. Upgrade Cleopatra and place some items down. So, Clearly's Cleopatra baby. We need to get her to be up to there. Now, what's funny is once this is fully upgraded to, I think, an adult, like, you don't need to fully upgrade it to be an adult, but eventually I actually did, and it's quite interesting. Also weird, too, that they're using some of the templates from the actual, like, movie and stuff. However, later on in the game, they'll start to utilize more of in-game models, I guess, to make it easier to, instead of drawing it, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but it's interesting how they've kind of, like, you'll see, they kind of go back to certain models and they're like, oh, let's put a costume on there. Good, that's perfect. Ah, good. It's interesting, too, that they're using, like, what looks like I'm not even sure if it's 3D models or if it just looks like 3D models, you know, like a certain art style and certain look, you know, they kind of utilize that. It's also interesting, too, that when it comes to the people who work on this game, the small group at Pixowl, sometimes it's interesting to see certain artists comes in to actually to do the artwork for the game, as far as like when it comes to their title cards or whatever you have you. And I think it might be mistaken, but I believe the artists that are working for the company, oh, I love this too, when you upgrade, there's like a little lightning bolt that's shocking it to like, live, damn you, live! Grow, upgrade! You know, no water or anything, just lightning. Makes sense.
Lovely. Now my dear plants are nice and watered. I'll just snip up these awful flowers so the sharp thorns can be properly appreciated.
Yeah, we don't want those ugly flowers. Ugh, nasty.
The living room should be a welcoming space where family can relax together. It's vital to create a good ambience through the right items. Yes. Otherwise, you might get snubbed by all the best ghosts.
Right ambiance. Get a piano and get a rug, so that's nice. What's weird too that I want to mention is that I mentioned Socrates, and he did appear in the film. I would not. Eventually, he does come into the game, but I'll talk when that happens in the future, in the near future, if this ever does go through that long, hopefully. But, yeah, so we got Socrates. There's also another octopus in the short-lived cartoon series, Octo, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I know the Socrates, for one. It's weird, because it's like they add new characters into the fray, either from the show or, like, from the movies. It just, you know, it's just what it is now, right? It's like, you know, now he does need more for the piano, which I finally got enough to do. So we're going to put this down, and then once we finally do that, we will finally be at level 6, and where we finally get teased with the new character coming up. So the filler episode is about to be done.
Thank you, Mansion. Now the living room's ambience is just right. We've improved our odds being haunted. But let's not get too optimistic.
Yay, we did it. We got this thing quest complete, and in a moment, there we go, level 6. So this is what we got over here. We got a bunch of these new items, which is nice. But that's really, yeah, we got a bunch of the stuff here. But that's not really what the most important part is. That's actually going to be when we finally look through all this stuff here. Yeah, some of the items are going to give you a hint of what it is, because once you click on the rewards, oh look! Who is that on the corner there?
Alright, Mansion, listen up. We having a nice time together, but I think it's time I join the rest of the family. It's not a covenant until you have at least 3 witches.
Oh, poor Grandmama. 3's a covenant. Unlock Grandma's room. Oh dear. I can't wait to talk about her, but yeah, oof, I should probably fix Grandmama's voice once she gets into the game. You know what? I think I'm gonna go more of a witches. You know, like to try to do a witch voice, but I don't want to sound like Fester either. But we'll see. We shall see what happens. Let's put it that way. But yeah, a bunch of stuff there. Also, that Morticia quest is going to be there for a while until I have the guts to be like, alright, fine, I'll buy the premium space. Here's more room for your garden. It's not like they'll add more quests. It's just, oh, thank you for that. And then it doesn't give you anything back in return. So it's like, why even bother investing? But yeah, you know what? We're kind of close to the end here. And eventually we're just getting some items to unlock Grandma room and have her out and about. And it'll be fun once we finally get her in this story, because quite honestly, there's a lot of interesting facts with Grandmama, because a lot of you probably be like, oh, I saw her from movies before, and I'm like, ooh, if only you knew that wasn't really who you thought it was. Because as I think I mentioned this before, there's actually 2 grandmas in this whole thing. The one of them here, the Grandmama, she was not really fully featured. Like, she was in the actual original, right? And then in the film, and then all that other stuff, right? However, in the new, like, say, the new Addams Family show, as well as other movies, that wasn't the grandma that we see. In fact, if anything, it's actually Mortissa's Grandma Frump that we see. But it'll be more interesting to talk about them because, it's been long enough. Grandma Frump is dead with her husband, so the movie kind of let that one go. So there you go. Oh well, no more grandmas, only this one now. One grandma shall live, only one shall remain. But that will be it for this episode. So the next time we come in, we'll finally unlock Grandma and continue on with the story, and hopefully more exciting things will happen. But hey, would you know it, we're getting very close to ending this beta stuff, so we finally get to the full release. And that will be interesting when that happens. So until then, I've been Grim, and thank you for joining me on the mansion tour, or whatever you like to refer to this as. So until then, I'll see you next time for more beta stuff. So see ya!